It's only been about 3 weeks. I'm pulling a Laura and popping a can before we get started. I think I've shown these before. When I really want a soda, sometimes I really like a Dr. Pepper and cream soda. It's a newer thing that they do. Newer-ish. They're good. They're good stuff. So, life has not slowed down. I haven't filmed up here in a while. This feels a little high, but this is my new light. I don't think I've filmed with my new light up here. And it just, this is going to be how it is. Maybe I'll try a little bit of a lower setup next time. Yeah. Maybe I need to like sit on a phone book. Let's try sitting on a cushion. Oh, that's better. Okay. Work has not slowed down. We went on a work retreat, which was nice. It was like a little over a day of training. We spent the night up in the mountains of Georgia. And on the second day, after we finished up trainings and stuff like that, we went on a mountain coaster. And we went out to lunch, like all of us together, which is like 40 people. And then we split up into 2 groups. You could do something outdoorsy or not outdoorsy. I chose outdoorsy and we went tubing. I'll pop in a picture. I can't tell you how much I needed that. I needed it. My 2 employees are completely gone, been gone. I have offered 1 job to someone, and if she passes all of her background checks, she'll start, and I'm pretty excited. Yeah, so that's a little bit of the weight off, but then we're encroaching upon like the end of the grant fiscal year, so I've got money to spend and cases to assign and train someone new. Thank goodness for Jim, for my sister, for good friends, for cross stitch, and good food. I mean, you shouldn't like soothe with food. I soothe with food. I 100% soothe with food. Speaking of soothing with food, so Jim's parents, one of the last times they were in town, we made from scratch ravioli. Like, they made the dough, they rolled it out, mixed up a ricotta cheese mixture, filled it, we sealed it, and we always have way too much, and we always freeze, and kind of like everybody takes some of the extras. We have not eaten our extras yet. Tonight we're eating our extras. Yesterday, in prep for the extras, because with homemade ravioli, you do not use jarred sauce. It's like a sacrilege. I mean, we would. I mean, we wouldn't judge. But I was like, we shouldn't. We shouldn't use jarred sauce for this. I should make sauce. I have a little raised garden out back. I'm on the 2nd floor of my house, actually just out that window. There's a raised garden. And this year I have bell peppers, which are doing great. I haven't harvested any yet, but the plants are full. They just have to turn to the right colors. I have cherry tomatoes and Roma tomatoes, which have been in abundance. We'll come back to that. And then squash, yellow squash and zucchini. Between the squash bugs and the squash worms, I'm about ready to just pull the plants up and burn them. In fact, I really think, because they're not yielding anything, they're destroyed at this point. And I tried to be proactive. So part of this is me saying, if you're a person that knows how to get on the front end next year of squash bugs and squash worms, please help me. I'm new at this. Please help me. Because, yeah, I love homegrown zucchini. Like, we would eat it multiple times a week, like squash. But it has not been my year this year. Last year I had it coming out of my ears. So I'm very disappointed with that. What I have been growing like crazy, other than the tomatoes, cucumbers. I don't even like cucumbers. Jim loves cucumbers. I mean, I'll eat them, but I don't love them. And he's at the point, my little vine is making so many cucumbers. He's like, I think I'm done eating cucumbers. So, yeah. I kind of want to make, and it's a pain in the butt, but I can remember when we would have baby showers and functions and stuff like that, my mom would make these little tiny cucumber sandwiches, which is basically just like, you put cucumber through a food processor and squeeze out the excess water, I think, and mix it with like cream cheese. I think I'm gonna be making some of those because that sounds really good, and I have so many cucumbers. Back to the tomatoes. So many cherry and Roma tomatoes. So yesterday, I was going to do that and this yesterday. No. Yesterday I gathered all of my tomatoes that I had been harvesting like the past week or so and just pulled everything that was ripe off the vines, and I made tomato sauce. I roasted them in garlic in the oven with olive oil. I took all of that out and I put it in a food processor. And then I took all of that out and I put it on the stove with more garlic and onion and herbs. And I just let it cook like all day. I am not happy with how seedy it is. I don't have a food mill or anything to like properly process that out. So maybe that's something that I would want to look into if I'm going to do this again. But it's very rustic, but still pretty smooth. But we're going to have that tonight with the from scratch ravioli. So a completely from scratch, partially homegrown meal. I'm pretty psyched about it. These are the things that make you happy at 42 years old. I'm not afraid to say. Went to my family's house for the 4th of July. It was nice. It was a good time with family. One of my nieces is pregnant, which will be my mom's first grandchild. Well, first great grandchild. Apologies. I finishes. The niece that is pregnant, I stitched this for her and just recently got it framed. I forgot to show it in my last video, and this other finish. But, you know, you don't want to force cross stitch upon people who might not love it. But I decided that something like this would fit her aesthetic. So I made her this ink circles henna mandala, and I did this on a piece of Weeks Dye Works fabric. Oh, it's dirty. Is that under the glass? You've got to be kidding me. Whatever. Whatever. Can you see that? Under the glass. Right there, underneath my finger. She'll never notice it. I didn't notice it when I picked it up. That's annoying though. I wonder, I was wondering if I could shake it. No. Anyway, so this is finished. It's going to her house. I picked out this very rustic frame. Her entire home is burnt orange, basically. So and kind of boho. So I think she'll like this. She, not that long ago in May, graduated from college. She's starting her first job. She's married. They have a home. They've a baby on the way. So I actually owe her much more. This I finished last year and stitched for me and finally got framed. I don't even know if I can get back far enough. This is my Weaver's Tapestry band sampler. This was a free chart. You can still get it online from Magical 525. I stitched this on a piece of Picture This Plus Bramble. 36 count, 2/2. That's what I always do. And this is with a DMC variegated floss called Espresso. I forget the number, but it's like browns and blues. Was not cheap to frame because of how big it is, and I fell in love with this wooden frame and then this metal fillet. Really love how it came together. Diana, where's yours? We started this together in like 2019. But yeah, this is hanging in my living room now, and I'm very pleased with it. Ooh, thunder. So yeah, pretty happy with that. What I'm gonna do the rest of the video is I did this last summer and I really enjoyed doing it. Kind of a where I've been this year and where I'm going. So let's start with where I've been. And we're going to take a Dr. Pepper break first. Okay. I have a line of project bags here, which is everything I've stitched on so far this year. I started off the year with this, and we can go ahead and say it's going to be a part of where I'm going as well, because I like to touch this more than once a year. It's a crowd favorite. Peacock, a unicorn, a badger. So many people are working on this. So many people are starting this recently. It is a full coverage piece. And because it's a full coverage piece, I'm not using a fancy linen at all. This is just a plain piece of Zweigart linen. You can see the tree is the middle. It will fit perfectly on this fabric. It's beautiful. So pretty. So I'm going to pull this out again this year for sure. Let me get my cushion adjusted so I'm tall enough. Which is never a problem I've had before. I'm 5'11". Those that haven't seen me in group photos or in person, I'm a tall lady, so the idea of sitting on something to make myself taller, it's not something I do a lot. In fact, even before I had 42-year-old foot issues, like I have plantar fasciitis in my feet, and I don't wear heels. But I didn't wear heels before I had that problem. Coming back out this year. Okay. I think we're going to do some fun stuff too. I think we're going to do some moving around and kind of showing you where some of my stuff is as I say where I'm going, because I pulled some, which is where I want to go, but I may move the camera around and show you where I've got some WIP stored and just kind of pull things that speak to me. This is my Modern Folk embroidery. I am finishing this year. I'm keeping up with it. I'm finishing it. This is No Time Like the Present. So if I don't finish anything else this year, it'll be this. I am stitching this on a piece of Seraphim Chai with Polywog and Black Coffee. This is what it looks like. And I'm caught up. I haven't started the July section yet, but it's just now July 6th. So every time I finish a section of this, Jim's like, that looks really good. So this will get hung somewhere once it's finished that we both really can enjoy it. I love it. I love it. I always, I forget that a WIP parade, even a mini WIP parade like this one, just having WIP parade in your title, it draws in a lot of new viewers that somehow haven't found you yet, maybe are new to Flosstube. So yeah, hi, welcome. I'm a weirdo. If you like that, keep hanging out. I worked on Jane Hardy. I haven't really been showing my bags. Peacock, a Unicorn, a Badger. I made this one. And this is my Modern Folk embroidery. I bought this one from an Etsy shop. And I'm so sorry, dear. I am forgetting the name of the shop. Let me look. See if it's in here. Haha! No, that's Seraphim tag. For bag makers, if you want floss tubers to remember and be able to shout out your bags, it's very helpful if you have a label on your bag somewhere, like Story Owl Stitchery, Jessie at Wildberry, like they have labels in their bags. It helps me remember. Or like if you send a card or something with it, I try to remember to put that and keep it in the bag. It's hard to remember. This one, this is Jane Hardy. It's gonna rain. It's gonna be a dark video. I'm pretty sure I did keep, this is Harriet and Frankie is who made this bag. You can find them on Etsy. Jane Hardy is a downloadable Hands Across the Sea sampler. It's one of their little gems. I'm doing this, I believe this is a piece of vintage buttercream by Lakeside. And I'm going to have some left over, which is nice. So that's where I am right now. I love how bright and funky the colors are. Just doing it with the DMC. I don't want to say that I definitely will pull this back out in Sampler September, but I might like to, because, you know, I've got so many WIPs going, and these that I have more progress on, I really need to get even more progress on. I need to get some WIPs wrapped up. I was updating my spreadsheet before I started this, and I'm just over 100 WIPs. And I could probably UFO or give up on a few of them that I'm not in love with anymore. I have a box under my bed for the ones that where I'm like, I might change my mind one day where those WIPs go, but they get taken off my WIP list and they just go into hiding. And then sometimes I give them away. Like if a really bad memory or something attaches themselves to a WIP, I don't need it. This is a hobby that's fun. This bag I made back when I was still making bags. I haven't made a bag and I don't know when. This is Cherish Stitches Emma Fowler, a reproduction sampler. I'm stitching on this for my mom. Eventually I'm going to finish it. I got a lot of work in it earlier this year. I will pull it out again this year, get some more work done. I changed the colors a little bit, and I'm doing it on a piece of pink linen. But it is really pretty. So pretty. I'm looking at the back of it, and yeah, I'm gonna just show you my back so that you can judge me some. But one side I stitched a long time ago, and the other side is more recent. But you can see old Emily carried threads way more than current Emily. Like, look at those tall, skinny trees on either side of the center. Yeah, I carry threads less now. little neater. But then also, what does it matter? If it's not going to show through on the front, what does it matter? I mean, I'm not putting it in a glass case where somebody can see both sides and taking it to competition or something. You know what I mean? It's going to be a gift from my mom. And she's going to love it whether I carried threads or not. In fact, she's never going to know. This is a Starry Owl Stitchery bag. Tara made this. I love it. This houses my Jane Moore, which I started with Lauren, the New Hampshire Stitcher, last year for the back to school sale. And Lauren, if you're doing that again this year, I guess I need to pick out what I'm doing. Yeah, I should probably think that through. I really hope that I get the current Colorado Stitcher exclusive from Homespun Sampler on Facebook between now and then. That might be my BAP. Sarah Sanderson, which if you're a Hocus Pocus fan, even though it's like an 1800s Sarah Sanderson, I think it's pretty cool. So this is Jane Moore. This is a scarlet letter piece, and it's just so funky. I've got to find a new verse though, so it's not all Jesus-y. But I'm nowhere near there. Doing it in DMC, all the beautiful threads. And what fabric am I doing this on? 36 count color and cotton limited edition fabric. So this should definitely get some. I'm not even all the way across, but it's huge. It's so big. But that's why it's a BAP. This should definitely come back out again in Sampler September. I have so many samplers. I should maybe do a Sampler August and a Sampler September. It's not a terrible plan. In fact, I'll show you in a little bit, reiterate what I'm starting on August 1st, which is not really a sampler. It's like a Berlin Woolwork reproduction. But yeah, it's a reproduction. I just love these old samplers, as you will see as we continue to go through everything. Just moving them from one side to the other. Speaking of old samplers, here's another scarlet letter. I bought this bag secondhand. I think it's a Harriet and Frankie from Etsy. I don't know. I bought it from like a D-stash. It's weird colors, but I liked it. This houses my Jane Atkinson, which again, I should really put some more work in on. All my threads. Once upon a time, I had a master DMC set, and I do still have a lot of those on bobbins, and I use them for other things, so they're not wasted. But I really like having the threads with the project, and I don't have to dig things out and find it. Again, I'll change the verse on this eventually one day when I get there. I'm not there yet. I'm not putting all the time into thinking that through until I'm closer to it, because what if I change my mind? I'm doing this on a piece of Seraphim 36 count Tobias, and it's beautiful. I really wanted to see what this would look like on a darker piece of fabric. It's a very warm brown, so I have that entire corner. A good, nice start on that. I mean, how beautiful is that? So pretty. These are the kind of samplers where when you see them in person, just the saturation of the threads, it's pretty breathtaking. So pretty. If you can hear my air conditioning. I've lived in this house since 2018, and from day one that vent has rattled like that. It drives me crazy. But have I ever taken the time to figure out why it rattles and tried to fix it? I should tackle that. And Kirby got a start on this, and this is in a Joanna 1966 bag. You can find her on Etsy. She always has bags available, and I love them, and they're a good price. This is Needlework Press. Doing this on 36 count color and cotton Beethoven. I barely got a start on this. Emily was having a rough time, I think, when this sale started, and I got enough done to say I started, but I didn't. This isn't what I would normally accomplish in a week, and I think that's how long I sat with it. A lot of nights I just stared at it, and that's okay. Sometimes all we can do is stare at our cross stitch and not get any real work done, and that's okay. It's not a job. Well, some people it's a job. It's not a job for me. I love this one. This is, I want to say with this that this is a Christie bag. Christie doesn't make bags anymore, but it's very beautiful. This is what houses my floral motif sampler, which is a scarlet letter. What really is making this one for me, again, is the fabric. I am putting this on a piece of Marbled Pointer by XJU Designs. Take it back, you can kind of see how marbled it is, and then where you can see the stitching. It's very pretty. I'm trying to stay on top of putting everything back together, and I'm the world's worst to like leave out the chart or leave out the threads and then be like, which one does this go to? Especially if it's threads. This is in a So Much to Love bag that I've had forever. I think I bought this one on clearance. It's beer bottles. This is my Carolyn Manning Treetops that I worked on in May. And it is just one of her shooting star pieces, and it's just shades of green. So pretty. Two more and we will be looking into the future. Next one I worked on, this is in a vintage owl lady bag, Susan. You can find her on Etsy. She will often post what bag she's working on that day on Instagram. I love her bags. They're affordable and gorgeous and very well made. This is Plum Street Samplers Live on Little, which I've converted to Into the Mystic. Here's what it will look like. I just showed this one in my last video. I showed several of these in my last video. This is on a piece of Sand Dune by Silk Weaver. Beautiful. Took out the hintingly religious verse and put in some Van Morrison lyrics. Definitely, I wasn't around like in the 70s or so. I was born in 82. But I love me some old, like Van Morrison, Bob Dylan. I just love some old music. Jim and I had this big long conversation yesterday though about like bands from the 90s that we could just pull out and listen to currently and just really enjoy. And I was telling Ellen as well, I'm really into the Cranberries again recently. I loved the Cranberries. Hold please. Guess who forgot to put their phone on airplane mode and their husband called during the middle of filming, even though I specifically said I'm going to be filming from this time to this time. But I didn't put my phone on airplane mode, so that's my fault. I love him. He's a good man. One more. This is what I'm currently working on. I have deconstructed this because while the books are very nice, I had to take it apart. It's too thick. I don't work with it well. This is Anne Roberts, and I am dying to get this done and on my wall. I think it's one of the most gorgeous samplers ever. I made the bag that it's in because it's funky, and it's still on my Q-snap. I have not stitched on it at all today. I have been doing house chores, and I will show you in a second. I have been putting all of my DMC that I've been putting on thread drops So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on. I mean, I'm sure it's a church. It's a steepled building in my opinion. So that steepled building is gonna get some more work later today. And I've just got threads everywhere. So pretty, funky colors, dude. It's just where my love is. Put this back in the floor. Before I move into where I'm going, I will show you a little bit of haul and a gift that I got. Let's take this out of the bag, crinkle, crinkle. Oh. Sometimes these cellophane bags, I can't tell where the opening is, so I'm just confused. Here lately I stay confused a lot. And this is my Bestitch Me Fabric of the Month. This is June, and it's mocha. That is showing up very different on camera than it looks in real life. In real life, if you've ever seen Picture This Plus Earthen, I feel like it's a lot like Earthen. It's got like a peachy, pinky, brownie tone. Definitely will use this for something. Put that over there. I found Cottage Garden threads and ordered the burgundy bark thread that goes with the Woodfield House sampler I showed in my last video. It has a lot of regular cotton threads that you can get most places, and then it had this one specialty thread. I do not want to tell you how much I had to spend to have this one thread purchased and shipped to me. One thread plus shipping. But I have it because I liked the way it looked. I bought myself this bag. This is another Joanna 1966. I don't know what I'll put in it. I'll put it with my bag stash. And when I start something later that's these tones, that will go in there. And then Megan, Stitching May, gave me this. She had it shipped right to me. This is a stitch and button bag. I watched Jessie Marie Does Stuff, her epic 4-hour WIP parade, so over the holiday weekend, and yeah, she had some butts in hers too. Love it. I love this. Okay, so the rest of this month, where am I going? I'm going to work on Ann Roberts some more. I am going to work on my Modern Folk embroidery sal every month until that's done in October. And I have four that I want to start still this year. And then we're just going to look at some other stuff that I think I want to work on outside of what I've already talked about. So August 1st, this is a wild berry stitching bag. I think I showed this in my last video. August 1st, we're starting this. I still haven't matched fabric to it. I've got another month plus. But what I did do in preparation, I'm starting this with Mega Stitches on August 1st. This is the Ruth. It was an exclusive from Market a couple of years ago. You may be still able to find it if you call around. Starting this, gotta find fabric. But this morning, I put all of the thread on thread drops. Yeah, it's a lot of thread. So much thread. I went through my stash and just a handful I already had. But then where I'd gotten some stuff framed at Michael's, I had some Michael's Rewards points. So I bought the rest of them. And I spent 34 cents. So that's pretty great. Don't let your rewards points just expire. At least go buy DMC. You'll use it. That's the way I look at it. In fact, I have like just one of the little $5 ones that, I mean, I'll find something that I want to kit up and just go get DMC later this month. So this is getting started August 1st. Join us. Put that there. This is also getting started. I put all of the threads on thread drops for this too. So thankful for a stitcher that helped me kit this up when I was having a rough time earlier this year. If anyone else has this and wants to start it with me, I really just need a good nudge and a date. So where my start along girls at? Who has this and wants to start it and can give me a date and time that I need to put a needle and thread to it? So I am doing this on the Stitch Me Mummy, which is this beautiful brown with like purple splotchies. And because there is quite a bit of purple, I think it's going to look lovely. How do some people do it? Do the twist. There's some silks in there. So yeah, who wants to start this with me? Sometimes I just need somebody to start it with me. Not an official hard stitch along, but a start along. It's my sweet spot. Got all the beads and everything in here. It's been a long time since I've beaded. I've done a significant amount of beading though. If you know Angel of Love by Lavender and Lace, I've stitched that. I don't have it to show. I gave it to my mom. Like the bulk of her skirt, and she's about this big, all of her, but the bulk of her skirt is like solid beads almost. She's beautiful. This is getting started soon. This is, oh, and this is a Joanna 1966 bag, and so is this. I like her funky ones. And not everybody seems to like those, but I love them. And the more color you can throw at me, the happier I am sometimes. Autism. Yeah. This is I need to find my fabric for this because I bought the fabric for it. This is Coffee and Eggs by the Artsy Housewife. I have all the threads in here. I bought a piece of baked clay, which is what it's called for. And I just need to find it and put it in here. I thought I had already done that. Yeah, we'll set this aside. So I need to start this. I would really like to see this hanging in my kitchen. And then this is another Joanna bag. I bought this one a long time ago. This is fully kitted up. Feast of Friendship. I love this. I want it in my dining room. Need to start this. This will probably be a November start. If anybody else has this, because most people have already started it, finished it. But if you want to start this with me in November, let me know. We'll get it on the books. Okay. These are two things I'm definitely working on because they're going to be gifts. And you can't gift something to someone if you don't work on it. This is the Little House Needlework ABC sampler set. I have all of the charts here. Once I finally finish this, I'm sure I'll give these away because it's a hefty little set. Switching the colors up to things that I think my sister would like. And this is where I am on it. Doing this on a piece of Picture This Plus Ale. She loves fall colors. She loves primitive things. I had said I was going to finish this for her 50th birthday. She turns 52 this month. Whoops. I am taking her to the movies for her birthday though. So, you know, there's that. We both love horror movies. And there's this new horror movie coming out with Nicolas Cage called Longlegs. And I'm so freaking excited about it. If you like horror movies, watch the trailer. If you don't like horror movies, definitely don't watch the trailer. There's another one coming out with Hugh Grant. A horror movie with Hugh Grant called Heretic. Yeah, I'm excited about that one too. This piece I started in 2020 for my best friend. I hope you can hear that. God, I love the sound of thunder. I am doing just the bottom portion. So like from my finger down, no border. And this is Portuguese Bird Sampler by Barbara Anna Designs. I've got to get this done for her. I started it, we met each other when we were 15. We've been best friends ever since. She lives in a different part of Georgia. I never get to see her. But you know that kind of friendship where it doesn't matter. Like that doesn't matter. Like I could not talk to her for 3 months and then we go have lunch together and no time has passed. It doesn't matter. So in 2020, she had a stroke and has recovered very well from that. But I started this right after she had her stroke. And it really needs some more work. And I've measured this, I don't know how many times, because every time I pull it out, I think, Emily, you don't have enough room. I have enough room. But it looks like I don't. I do. The fabric is Old Stationery. Yeah, 36 count Old Stationery. I think, I'm not even gonna guess the dyer of that. Coloring Cotton or Seraphim. I feel bad. So yeah, I've got to work on this for her. can't give it to her if I don't work on it. Cheryl's was in a vintage Owl Lady bag. This is in a bag that I made years ago. There's so many things I want to work on. I'm surrounded by project bags and things I want to work on. I don't even know where to start. I know I want to pull this back out this year because Olivia finished hers and it's beautiful. And it always reminds me of Olivia. And, you know, she's just one of my favorite people on this planet. So the idea of having this WIP with her is pretty nice. Have a lot to go. A lot left on this one. This is a Plum Street Samplers. Friends of the Heart. And this is in a bag that was gifted to me by another stitcher, a Ouija board bag. It's another Halloween piece. Jessie just mentioned this one and she was like, I think Emily finished hers. And I messaged her and I said, I did not finish that. I will work on it in October. This is by Twin Peak Primitives, the Haunted House Sampler. Doing it on a piece of Weeks Dye Works Gray with a conversion to overdyed cottons. I have a lot done, but I'm not done. Ooh. Very pretty. My side of the bed in our bedroom, everything that's framed in there is a little spooky. And not that I care to have spooky stuff all over my house. I obviously don't with my bats and all my weird stuff. Oh yeah, thunder. But that's where I keep a lot of it. And it's just kind of a fun little collection. This will go there. Pulling this out this December again. I want to get this done. I love it. I want it on display for a holiday. This is Heartstring Samplery Hibernation Day. I thought I was doing this on a piece of 36 count. It said it was 36 count. The more I stitched on it, actually pretty quickly as I was stitching on it, it's a 32 count. Thankfully, it's still going to fit. I am so close to being done. This is getting finished this year. Finished. What is this? Taking a quick Dr. Pepper break. I don't think I've worked on this since last year, but I love it. I love how quirky it is. This is a Brenda Gervais Carolina Amelia trowel. I have a lot done on it. It needs to get done. If you have any thoughts on what I should work on the rest of July, I'm going to work on Ann Roberts, my modern folk embroidery. Like, as I'm showing these things I want to pull out, like, feel free to be like, that one. That needs to be the next thing you work on in July after you finish your section of modern folk embroidery. I don't know where I got this. Hold on. There's a tag. Buckleberry quilts. There you go. We started this as a stitch along for Brenda's birthday. This bag is from Stitchin' Cahoots. I have bought this one bag from them and never another one. I'm not even sure if they still make bags, but when I was buying so many bags for the year of my 40th birthday, when I started 40 Things, if you weren't around then, that was a time. But I started this then, and it's another one by the Scarlet House. I have to chart something to go in the middle. That won't be a big deal though. But I always think I have more done on this one than I do. I do not have that much completed. What am I doing this on? It's a piece of Seraphim Dusty Road. It's a very pretty fabric. Okay, well, but yeah, I don't have as much done. I have more done than I was thinking, but not as much as I thought. And I know that that is a complete like oxymoron, like you can't say that. But I was thinking that I thought I had more than this at one point, but in actuality I had about half this much. This needs some work. Brenda hasn't finished hers either, so I don't feel terrible. Beautiful. Beautiful. There was a point in my life where I refused to enjoy girly colors, but in my later life, I really like purple. I do. I really like purple. Pink? I'm still up in the air about half the time, but I really like purple. Vintage Owl Lady bag. This is Martha Pudsey. I love this. I started this the year of my 40th birthday. Another Scarlet House. It's so weird. I mean, it's weird, but it's not weird. It's a typical Adam and Eve sampler, but it is just, that's a good one. I think I'm doing this on a piece of Lakeside, but I don't remember which Lakeside. And holy crap, I thought I had more done than that. That's pathetic. Pathetic. Wow. Well, there's that. So, you know. But yeah, that's definitely a Lakeside linen. I'm looking in here to see if I have a tag that says what Lakeside linen, but of course I do not. Looks like vintage maple sugar, if I were a guessing woman. Okay. So let's pull this basket closer. This is the basket that I keep downstairs, across from my stitching spot. And it has stuff in it that 6 months ago I thought I would want to work on. So let's see. Winter Manor, not really feeling that. Jane Tyndall, I should be feeling that, but I need some work. Mine Independent and Free. Man, Dog, Steer. Moon Moth. Sarah Bradley. Elizabeth Isles. Elizabeth Isles. Laura's Birthday Sal. Needs some work. I have never seen another sampler like this with this border. And I'm doing this on American Chestnut, because at the time that was like Laura's favorite fabric. It's probably changed since then. And I'm not doing the verse, I'm just doing the bird and shortening, which is another reason why I should just finish it. I say like I have more done. I love the weird angels. Okay, we're gonna fold it a different way. Let's see, Forever Young. Oh, Blue Cat. I was looking on Instagram today and I saw somebody else. This is a vintage Owl Lady bag that jingle jangles because of all the things I put on there. They had finished Blue Cat. I need to finish Blue Cat. And Blue Cat is actually Quincy the cat by Miss Prim. I have his head, kind of. I need more hours in the day. That's what I need. Mary Argent, Death by Cross Stitch. Riley Harbor likes to travel with me. Jim and I are going to a cabin in the Blue Ridge Mountains in September. This may go. Riley Harbor. Kathy Barrick stitching is good travel stitching because there's often, it's artistic and wonderful, but it's also simple. You know, it's blocky. There's no like confetti. It's not huge. Some of hers are big. This one isn't huge. This needs to travel. This needs to travel to the cabin with me. You know, they always find a way to take a picture where it looks like a desolate cabin. But I know from one photo that there's another cabin that you can see somewhat closely. But look at this. I'm so excited. I need time off. I need time off so much. I need people not to call me. What is this? I've got to finish this. It's so small. This is Kathy Barrick, Enchanted, Carriage House Samplings. Thought I had more done than this. Yeah. Well, that's laughable. One reason I keep not pulling that out is because I'm doing it with the silk. I don't like stitching with silk, but I've got to crank it out. I have another bag over here. What are you? It's another sampler that needs love. This is in a So Much to Love bag. This is Sarah Stewart Hardman. And I keep pulling this out saying I need to work on it because I've done the whole border. Well, I completed the border. I've done the line. I don't know. That's already more than I'm going to be able to work on in the next 6 months. So I should probably stop here. Who knows what direction it's going to go. But these are things I would really like to touch. I can't promise any of that. I hope you enjoyed this little mini catch up so far in 2024. mini WIP parade. Enjoyed watching me. Think I had more done than I've really done. Yeah. I think I'm going to stop here, enjoy the rest of my drink, maybe sit out in the sunroom and listen to it rain and thunder. Just enjoy the rest of my evening. Thanks, guys. Happy stitching. If you made it all the way to the end here, maybe put a little bat emoji down in the comments. Let me know you made it all the way to the end. Don't forget to let me know what I should work on after I finish the July Modern Folk Embroidery. What out of all of those pieces are you like, Emily, seriously, get some work done on that? Let me know. See you next month, if not later in July.